This is the CBC Morning Report for today, Monday, May 8th. I'm Tisha Hines. Good morning. In our top story, hundreds of delegates start arriving from today for this week's Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association's Marketplace and Trade Show here in Barbados. Barbados will be taking the opportunity to showcase what we have to offer to international tourism journalists. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Ryan Ford, was speaking of the grand opportunity last evening on TV8's The People's Business.
We have 800 delegates arriving for this event, and you have at least 45 of them are international media. So they will be showcasing the best of Barbados. What's the best? The people. You know, second best is what we offer in terms of our heritage, our culture, our food, etc. So all of those experiences, these delegates are going to see, and they're going to post, they're going to do blogs about, they're going to speak very well about Barbados. On top of that, they're also going to have a business travel forum that the main speaker is obviously the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister has been championing about the same thing the last caller said. You know, how do we add more to our product? How do we diversify and upgrade? And she is going to lead the speech, and then there's 13 other individuals that will be talking as well. So there's a lot of business transactions going across the 2 days of the actual trade show. And as we were speaking earlier about manufacturing, there's also a marketplace which gives an opportunity for 800 plus individuals to see the offering. Today, when it was presented to us on the walkthrough, they actually have 2 stations there that are set up for the 26 different providers to showcase the soaps, the shampoos, all of these products that originally you would get in small bottles. They're now going on an eco way in the hotels of supplying it in large capacities so that you reduce the wastage, and you're also able to work better with local suppliers. But it gives those local suppliers the opportunity to now sell overseas as well and earn foreign exchange. So there is a lot of opportunity to promote what we do well here in Barbados to get the repeat tourists, but we're also showcasing our linkages of what our people can offer, apart from the events that we're also putting on as well.
Now, the chairman of the Tourism Development Council, Mark Thompson, says there are also plans to make sure Bridgetown doesn't sleep, creating more opportunities for tourists to enjoy what Barbados has to offer. He says Bridgetown has to go beyond providing duty-free shopping.
There is a planned project around the Pierhead, Carlisle Bay area. I think that's a much needed project, I should say, which would have, mixed use environment, retail, commercial, living, apartments, that sort of thing. There's the Hyatt Hotel planned. And with that, you got to plan a number of things that would help. When people come there, they want to be able to go to, museums, art shows, movies, etc. Because right now, Bridgetown, we know it, is really living by virtue of the fact it's duty-free, and that's the focus. But we really need to have projects like that and that type of development happening in order to really wake Bridgetown up. To get it back to how it was when boats coming across the Atlantic used to make that the first stop,
Still to come on the morning report, mediators arrive in Sudan to talk peace.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world.
Battles raged in Sudan on Sunday as envoys from Sudan's warring parties were in Saudi Arabia for talks that international mediators hope will bring an end to a 3-week-old conflict that has killed hundreds and triggered an exodus.
A Sudanese army tank comes under attack in Khartoum. Another fires back at positions held by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. As representatives of the rival sides meet in Jeddah for talks, fighting is continuing around the presidential palace. Amid the conflict, looting. In North Khartoum, this meat factory was set on fire.
I don't know the source of the fire. Another fire also broke out days later in a furniture store near us. People loot and burn. That's what they do. They also burned another place not far from here.
This factory close by belongs to one of the largest food packaging companies in Sudan.
We received materials 10 days ago. The looters came and asked us about the contents of the cartons. Then they slit the cartons open with knives and looted what was inside. This has happened several times.
More people are fleeing the capital. In Port Sudan on the eastern Red Sea coast, authorities are struggling to cope.
We hope the United Nations envoy, who's now in Port Sudan, will sort out the problem of the Syrians and the Yemenis in particular. This solution could be to evacuate them to their countries or to another country, or to put them in refugee camps outside the state, so as not to face problems and security challenges because of their large numbers.
The Sudanese Red Crescent is treating the sick and injured.
Recently, cases of malaria have appeared. Most of the existing medications are antibiotics, pain relievers, as well as diabetes and blood pressure medications. We have comprehensive medications, but they are not sufficient.
These people are waiting to leave the country, but millions of others are trapped by the fighting and struggling to get medicine, food or water.
Russia claims it has destroyed 22 drones belonging to Ukraine in the last 24 hours. Drones have become a major weapon in this war.
A Moscow official says they were targeting Crimea and they were brought down over the Black Sea. Ukrainian media reported explosions across occupied Crimea. Separately, Russian security services say they foiled an attack on a military airfield within central Russia. It says a sabotage group had drones filled with explosives. Well, drones are playing a major role on the battlefield in Ukraine. Both sides are using expensive unmanned weapons to lethal effect. Charles Stratford reports.
Stealth is key for these frontline drone operators training in the forests of central Ukraine. Skillful use of a fast-evolving technology that is redefining strategy and operations on the eastern and southern battlefields. But it's civilians, not soldiers, training these Ukrainian special forces. 5,000 servicemen have passed through this drone training camp since Russia's invasion 14 months ago. They learn drone reconnaissance, artillery guidance, weapons delivery and systems jamming.
The alarm you can hear there means that a drone has been detected, and there's devices like these, as you can imagine, being used right the way across the front line. And kit like this can detect up to 30 kilometers away.
Drones have changed tactics. Each war has its own characteristic. During the Second World War, advanced technology was tanks. Now it's drones and artillery.
Civilian drone enthusiasts are contributing more and more to Ukraine's war effort. Most are self-funded and only make enough money to cover their costs.
Drones were my hobby for 8 years, but when the invasion happened, I realized I could be useful. We have to get our men out of the trenches and fight more with machines.
At another underground workshop, 3D printers make parts including grenade clips and bomb release systems. Batteries are made from disused vapes.
We constantly get specific requests from the guys on the front line. We are inventing, producing, assembling things that will help them.
Russia has been using Iranian-made so-called kamikaze drones, whilst Ukraine uses US-made drones such as the Switchblade that explodes on impact. But training and innovative production by civilians developing systems like these aims at supplying soldiers with cheap weapons they say Ukraine's Western allies cannot provide.
It's time now for us to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados. Well, we're celebrating Nurses Week, May 7th to 13th. We have Dr. Faye Paris and Suzette Hope who will be coming in to tell us more about this week of activities in celebration of nurses. A new season of From Bohay is back, and the presenter-producer, Kim Butcher, will be in to share more about that in the new season and let you know what you can expect and when it will be here. We're going to reach out and feature a Bajan from afar. Today, we're featuring Eric Levine, who is a retired Barbadian football player. We're going to find out exactly what he's up to, still in the field, but doing things a little differently. We will highlight, Mom, this one is for you, as we look towards Mother's Day celebrations and tell you all about what's happening with the CBC Mother's Day promotion as well. And in the segment Life, Love and Hope, Dr. Janice Charles is talking bouncing back from relationship pain and disappointment. That's all coming up at 7 o'clock. But after this break, we're going to have more news, sports, and weather right here on the CBC Morning Report. Revelers are being cautioned to protect themselves and their skin this crop over season. There are several medical and skin conditions which can result from exposure to the sun and to various chemicals in the paint and powder. Topping the list is the risk of skin cancer. A leading local dermatologist explained to the Morning Report that it's not confined to any specific race because with temperatures as intense as they are, the ultraviolet exposure is higher.
Its risk is skin cancer, which we normally associate with the lighter pigmented patient, the Caucasians. But black people can also get skin cancer, so that is something that we have to be aware of. And skin cancers can develop either in a chronic stage or an acute stage, i.e. you get a terrific sunburn and therefore you're at risk of a skin cancer maybe years down the road. Apart from that, excessive sun exposure can also lead to premature aging of the skin. So people wind up with wrinkles and stretched skin because they're not taking care of themselves properly.
Now, while there are no local studies to show the precise numbers of UV exposure damage or other reactions to allergens, the dermatologist has assured the Morning Report that offices are full after the festival because many are not aware of their sensitivity to chemicals.
It may not only be sun-related. There are, of course, all the different fets with different paints and glitter and what have you. And some people are sensitive to these things, which they may not realize until after the fact. We've had some patients come in with allergic contact dermatitis to the skin after being exposed to whatever else may be thrown at them during the fet. And in some cases, of course, people can develop allergies at a later stage in life. They may have had a little sensitivity of skin because there's a genetic predisposition in people who have asthma and hay fever and eczema in general. But some people are not aware that they can be reacting to something like the paint or latex until after the fact has occurred.
The doctor warns in some instances a small amount of substance could even cause death.
In the extreme situation, one can develop anaphylactic shock with difficulty breathing, and swelling of the tongue, and swelling of the airway passages, and therefore at significant risk of dying. And one of the dangerous things about this, it may not have to be a lot of the chemical. It may only be a small portion. That person who is very sensitive, for example, somebody may be sensitive to, let's say, peanuts, and just being in a room where peanuts are being distributed or available for other people, they might have a reaction to it. So you do not necessarily have to have a lot of the substance on you for you to have a reaction.
Well, a day after lawmen issued a warning regarding anyone caught harboring two missing teenage girls, the youngsters have been located and are in police custody. Renika Husbands and Tanique Jemmett were reported missing since April. The two 14-year-old girls have been the topic of much discussion and concern on social media. Acting Police Public Relations Officer Inspector Stephen Griffith confirmed that the youngsters are in custody and their parents have been informed. He says the two were picked up yesterday.
The Barbados Police Service wished to inform members of the public that missing juveniles Renika Husbands and Tanique Jemmett are now in police custody. The Barbados Police Service wish to thank members of the public and the press for their kind cooperation and assistance in this matter.
Well, here in Barbados, we started paying more for gasoline and liquefied petroleum gas or LPG products, but less for diesel and kerosene from midnight last night. The retail price of gasoline is now $4.24 per litre, an increase of 12 cents. The price of diesel moved to $3.48 per litre and kerosene $1.81 per litre, reductions of 23 cents and 19 cents respectively. The adjusted price of LPG will now be $163.76 for the 100-pound cylinder, $46.04 for the 25-pound cylinder, $40.68 for the 22-pound cylinder, and $36.98 for the 20-pound cylinder. In news from further afield, Jamaica's Island Traffic Authority has begun the suspension of driver's licenses for persons with 10 or more demerit points. The process began on May 2nd. CVM Television reports.
According to the Island Traffic Authority, over 100 notices of suspension have so far been issued to persons who have accumulated 10 or more demerit points on their driver's license. Persons who have accumulated 10 to 13 demerit points will have their license suspended for 6 months. 14 to 19 demerit points result in a 1-year suspension, and 20 demerit points and over result in a 2-year suspension. Once a notice of suspension has been sent, the driver's license holder must surrender the license to the ITA within 21 days. Failure to comply is an offense. Director of the ITA, From OHare, explains once a notice of suspension is issued, a copy is sent to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Tax Administration of Jamaica.
Once you have submitted your driver's license to us, of course, we inform every notice that has been sent out. The Jamaica Constabulary Force Police Traffic Headquarters is given a copy of it, and also the Commission of Collection of Taxes also. So it's sent to those two entities, so they are aware that. And also in the traffic ticketing system, it is also uploaded there.
Here adds the disregard for the regulations of the road is at an all-time high.
We are seeing a lot of persons disobeying traffic signs and traffic lights and stop signs. We are seeing persons failing to comply with traffic signs. We see person not wearing seatbelt, not wearing helmet. We are seeing a lot of behavior that really and truly should not be executed on the road.
In the meantime, driver's license holders are being urged to update their address at TAJ, as the notice of suspension will be sent to the last address on record.
Meanwhile, Jamaica's government is working to counter the recent spate of attacks on cash management security firms. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang addressed the issue during the latest post-cabinet news conference.
The issue of the attack on the cash management system, mainly on the vehicles during the transit operation, has had the attention of the police from very early on. In fact, before there was any actual event, the police intelligence indicated there are movements by individuals to carry out robberies against areas with high cash, that was handling cash, and they having, in fact, made interception. They continue to work closely with the various stakeholders, but yes, they have had discussion with the security companies, and in particular Beryllium, which is the only cash management operator. Other companies are involved in cash transfer and transit, but Beryllium handles cash management and handles maybe huge amounts of cash across the country for all the banks. It is therefore imperative that we hold discussion to look at how we can mitigate this problem, because the primary victims are a wide cross-section of Jamaican workers. The 8 to 4 worker who gets the salary through the bank and has to go to an ATM machine to get whatever cash he needs. It is unfortunate, but Jamaica's economy is still very much a cash economy, and the service is crucial for the efficient operation of the economy and for the convenience of our workers and small businesses across the island. When an ATM machine is removed from a small district like, say, Darlington or Cambridge, the entire district's office, the individual who has to then go to a bank hall in Montego Bay or Savlamar to collect the money, it costs them. Taxi fare, bus fare. It costs the economy in the community, because then the individuals no longer spend their money where they are. They spend the money where they collect it and go straight home. So it has wide implications, and as indicated, we are taking some immediate steps, work with all stakeholders, and we'll be looking at some longer-term activities. Our interest in this from the police is to find the perpetrators and prosecute them.
Well, officials from the Bahamas Humane Society have been weighing in on the debate on whether or not citizens and residents should be owning pit bulls if the animals are banned from the country. We hear more in this Eyewitness News report.
Should legislators consider banning the breeding and ownership of pit bulls in the Bahamas? This question being raised in light of several pit bull attacks, one in Grand Bahama that left a woman in hospital, and an incident of pit bulls chasing and killing another dog last month. President of the Humane Society, Kim Arena, says it won't make any difference, as this is not a pit bull problem, it's a people problem.
And we've had people make outcries for other breeds, for Doberman Pinschers, for German Shepherds, even Rottweilers. It's not a question of stopping to breed them or not having them in the country. It's a question of teaching people to be responsible animal owners. And if you have a big dog or a dog that's aggressive, you have to be doubly careful. So if you are incapable of keeping that dog on your property, then you shouldn't own one.
While Arena does believe that pit bulls are unfairly stigmatized, she says more blame should be placed on breeders.
And so, to start with, there's interbreeding. Because we're not allowed to import pit bulls into the Bahamas, a lot of people are breeding first cousins, fathers and daughters and brothers and sisters. Now, we know that doesn't work genetically with humans. It does not work genetically with dogs or any other animal. That's one thing. Then we've got people that are intentionally breeding aggressive pit bulls with aggressive pit bulls. Instead of trying to stamp out an aggressive side, they actually are trying to encourage it. So it's almost as if a dog who's done an attack has proven himself, and they're probably all wanting to hand him out as stud and get his puppies because he's proven himself to be aggressive.
Arena also pushing for the government to tax those same breeders and incur fines when needed.
To start with, there should be a very definite tax levied on breeders. I think breeding, they make a huge amount of money. Some breeders can make up to $40,000 from a litter, and they don't pay a penny tax. So I think there needs to be a very careful look at the breeding industry in the Bahamas.
And as for the buyers of those pit bull pups, Arena reminds the public that dogs are sentient creatures and should be treated as such.
You have a small child. Do you let them run out on the street? When they get run over, do you go, oh, so-and-so forgot to close the gate? No, you close the gate. The same, especially if your dog is aggressive, you owe it to the community at large to be responsible.
Well, the implementation of quiet time laws is among the 3 legislative suggestions by the Group of Citizens Against Noise Pollution of Trinidad and Tobago. Public Relations Officer Lindian Bashu shared this during the Joint Select Committee meeting on Local Authorities, Service Commission and Statutory Authorities. The committee met to continue their discussion on noise pollution in Trinidad, as we hear in a TTT report.
One of the suggestions from the Citizens Against Noise Pollution was also brought forward by the Joint Select Committee for a noise warden being in place to issue tickets to those exceeding the recommended decibel level by the Environmental Management Authority. Number 2 on their list is the implementation of a plainly audible noise clause.
This will circumvent to a great extent the need for meters by police, because then all that they would need is their ears and a measuring tape to identify and to ascertain whether the music is being played, right, or the noise that is being emitted is beyond the boundary line of the offender.
Number 3 on their list is the introduction of quiet time laws, which forbid excessive noise from neighbors and from commercial establishments during key hours of the evening. When it comes to noise emitted from music at fetes or parties, Ms. Bechu highlighted the fact that the promoters are limited when it comes to event spaces. It's a point that President of the Promoters Association, Jerome Priscilla, agreed with.
The problem that we face is that there have not been things put in place for event venues throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and that's why you would find that a lot of events happen in what we would call residential zones, because unlike internationally where they have huge concert venues and huge parks and areas where concerts can take place, here in Trinidad and Tobago we don't have that.
He said promoters have tried to explore venues that are not in close proximity to residential areas, but doing that has unearthed another problem.
As we turn to sports, we hear that Barbadian boxer Jabali Breedy suffered a controversial defeat to Martin Molina in Spain yesterday in the round of 32 at the Men's World Boxing Championships in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. It was a close fight in the 48-51 kilogram flyweight category, with Breedy in the red trunks leading after the first round. However, Molina, the number 2 seed, returned in the second round to land a few punches within the allotted 3 minutes, and the judges scored that favorably. In the third round, both boxers made the judges think long and hard, with Breedy responding to all that Martin threw at him. Officially, Breedy was awarded the win 3-2, but after a mandatory review of the bout by independent observers and evaluators, Martin was handed the win on points. Speaking to CBC Sports from Uzbekistan, Barbados coach Lawrence Hunt said they felt robbed of the win.
Five judges that pretty much judge the fight. So in professional, there are 3. In amateur, in IBA boxing, there are 5 judges around the ring. So they weigh in on the scores. In the first round, 3 of those judges scored it for Jabali, 2 of those judges scored it for Spain. In the second round, 4 of those judges scored it for Spain, whereas only 1 scored it for Jabali. So in the third round, Jabali pulled it back. So he convinced 4 of the judges that he won that round, and only 1 judge scored it for Spain. So when you tally that up, 3 of the judges in total would have scored the bout for Jabali, 2 would have been for Spain. Now in the new rules, there was back and forth about the review process and if there was a lower review. It goes to automatic review once it goes to 3-2, one way or the other. And then the judges then weigh in on whether or not to overturn it or not. Unfortunately for us, that did happen where the judges scored, these 5 judges were actually overturned to give the fight to Spain. Even though, in our estimation, Jabali pretty much won those rounds.
Well, that's today's morning report, but before we go, let's take a look at the weather. The present barometric pressure is 1014.1 millibars. The air temperature 26.7 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity stands at 84%, and the winds are blowing out of the east at 24 kilometers per hour. Present temperature fair to slightly hazy. Sea conditions moderate in open water with northerly swells peaking at 2 meters. Your tides for the day, you will have your first high tide at 4:53 and the second low tide at 11:14 this evening. It's going to be partly sunny with a few brief scattered light showers today in Barbados, and into the evening you can go ahead and expect some better conditions. It's going to be mostly clear with a few light early morning showers. And breaking news for you, police and fire officials are still on the scene of an apparent house fire where the remains of a woman and child have been found. Fire officials received the report about 4:35 this morning, and 2 tenders, one from the Worthing station and the other from the Bridgetown station, responded to the scene at Headings in St. Philip, along with 8 officers under the command of Divisional Officer Perch. It was when fire officials made a check of the dwelling after extinguishing the blaze that the discovery of the human remains was made. One of the neighboring 2-story structures was damaged in the fire, along with a vehicle. CBC News will bring you further updates on that breaking story as they come to hand. And that brings an end to the morning report. Our next newscast is coming up at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network, 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. It's time now for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you indeed. It's already Monday, May 8th. So good to have you in company. Wonderful Monday morning. So what are your plans for today? I hope you had a great weekend. I most certainly had an eventful weekend, worked all weekend long, but you know how it goes sometimes. So it's good to have you back with us. I was really pleased to see a whole lot of people out and about exercising this morning as I made my way to work. I know that's usually something that people want to do. At certain points, you see that there are peaks of people exercising, and then it falls off a little bit. But happy to see so many people back out and about getting our exercise on. I most certainly have to get back into the thick of things. So we're looking forward to hearing from you exactly what you're doing and how things are going with you. So feel free to check in with us and let us know how things are. So today is going to be a fantastic show. As usual, we have some great people passing through to share with you. Desmond Weeks is going to be here, the producer of Mum, This One Is For You. And I can remember when that first started. It was a great show then, and it's going to be a wonderful show this time around. He is coming through with the reigning Calypso Monarch of Barbados, Kwan, to share with us all about the show and let you know why you should be there. It's going to come off on Sunday, May 14th, Mother's Day at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Center, and you definitely don't want to miss it. Who knows, as we celebrate mothers this year, you might get an opportunity to win. So I'm giving you a heads up. So make sure you keep watching so that you can be in with a chance. Life, Love and Hope, that segment is Back this week with Dr. Denise Charles, and today she's working to help you bounce back from relationship pain or disappointment. So that will be an interesting discussion. Meantime, if you have any questions that you want to share with her, or maybe you have a little bit of a story that you want her to weigh in on, you can email it to us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. All right, we definitely would love to hear from you. Then we are reaching out to our Bajans all across the world. Today we are featuring Eric Levine, UEFA football coach, and he is also a retired Bajan football player who played in the League of Ireland for over a decade. We will be checking in with him to find out how things are going, still loving football and still sharing his love for the sport with others through his coaching. So he will be in with us a little later on the program. Plus, we are featuring for Nurses Week, we are featuring some wonderful ladies who are coming through to tell us all about the week of observances and what will be happening. That's coming up shortly. Just after that, we have Kim Butcher, who is the producer of From OHare, and she's talking about a new season that is coming up. So a new season of From OHare. If you've not seen it, we're going to introduce you to it. If you watched it last season, we will reintroduce you to it to make sure that you can enjoy all that they offer. Basically, it is a whole host of Barbadian small manufacturers coming together and showing what their products are and letting you know why you can buy them. I absolutely love it. So that's coming up. But right now, Dr. Faye Paris, who is president of the Barbados Nurses Association, and Suzette Hope, chairman, Education Committee and of Nurses Week, they're going to join us to tell us more about the week of activities. Good morning, ladies.
And Jill, thanks for having us.
Okay, wonderful to have you with us. First of all, congratulations on reaching another Nurses Week. And we have to start by saluting all nurses and the fantastic work you do every day for the Barbadian people here and people abroad, because I know Barbadian nurses are working all across the globe as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, so tell us first of all about the week of activities. I know that Nurses Week is observed May 7th to 13th, and usually there's quite a bit planned. So tell us how we can get involved, Dr. Paris.
Okay, good morning and happy Nurses Week to all the nurses out there. We have been planning this Nurses Week to coincide with the International Celebration for Nurses Week. And to answer that question, I will turn you over to the chairperson of the committee, who would be able to give you good insight into the activities planned.
Good morning, and thank you again, Tisha, for having us. We would have started our week of activities yesterday with a church service at the Church of the Nazarene, Calamurock. It was a wonderful service. And we also had a webinar yesterday afternoon dealing with financial planning for home ownership. Today, we will be looking at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. They start off the week with a spa day for their staff. The psychiatric hospital, we also have a trivia with the persons at the psychiatric hospital. And at the geriatric hospital on Beckles Road, they are having a first aid presentation this morning, as well as a tour of Harson's Cave later in the afternoon. I might add, Tishia, that all of our institutions are involved. We're looking at the St. Michael District Hospital. We have the St. Philip District Hospital. We also have the St. Lucie District Hospital, which is way up north, and the psychiatric hospital, not to mention the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. On Tuesday, we have an open day at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital again, and that is open to the public as well. You can pass on through and see the different departments in nursing at the hospital. The geriatric hospital is having a treasure hunt on that day as well. On Wednesday, the 10th of May, QEH is putting on a seminar, and that runs from 10 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. The geriatric hospital is having a treasure hunt and a games evening, and the St. Lucie District Hospital is having a games evening on the Wednesday as well. On Thursday, that will be when the association hosts its seminar under the theme, Our Nurses, Our Future, and that will be held at the Savannah Hotel on Hastings Main Road. It is open to everyone in nursing. We have students, we have members, even those who are not members of the association. They can come on out and join us for that day. On the Friday, we are having a Nursing Students Appreciation Day. This will be held at the Barbados Community College. And that is the day that we salute our students because they're the future of nursing. The Psychiatric Hospital on that day, Friday, they will be having a Staff Appreciation Day. And Friday is the day that St. Lucie District Hospital and the Geriatric Hospital on Beckles Road, they will be having staff lunches and appreciations for their staff as well. QBH on the Thursday as well, that evening, on the Friday, they will be having an evening of excellence in nursing and a cultural extravaganza. And on the Saturday, the Geriatric Hospital will be having a beach walk and line, and that route will be from the Geriatric Hospital on Beckles Road, and it goes all the way down to Brandon's Beach. And on the Sunday, the last day of Nurses Week, we will be closing the week with a Thanksgiving service. This time it will be held at the St. Paul's Anglican Church. And we are closing the week. We started with prayer and thanksgiving, and we are closing the week also with prayer and thanksgiving for the week that we would have had, and to ask God's blessings on us for future endeavors.
Well, that's a lot of activities. To pack into 1 week is going to be chock-a-block for the next few days. I don't know if you guys are retired to attend everything, but that is a lot of activities. I'm sure you guys are looking forward because it just shows your reach. It just shows how many places and people you touch with what you do. Madam President, let's look at what has transpired over the last few years across the world and how nurses have had to really step up and even add to their offering. How has that changed how the nurses, even here in Barbados, in your organization, feel about the way they deliver service and what has been expected of them over the last 2 years?
So our focus for this Nurses Week and for nursing is our nurses of future. Because as you said, over the last couple of years, a lot of changes has occurred in terms of nursing and the way we deliver and what is expected of us. A lot of change occurred in relation to the aspect of migration and international shortages of nurses. So it has impacted our island, as we are one of the islands in which persons come to recruit, so that a number of our nurses would have left the island to ply their trade in other places. So that is one of the ways that it has affected our country. The approach that we are using to manage this migration is to see how we can impact not only nurses going overseas, but the replacement of nurses within the Caribbean. The government has been reaching out to other places to help with recruitment here in Barbados, but we realize that there is still more work to be done in terms of engaging our nurses so that we can have persons retained in Barbados by enhancing the offerings that we are providing for our nurses. And in doing that, we want to encourage nurses, and we want to encourage the policymakers to look into retainment, more ways in which we can help to retain nurses within the island.
Well, that's very, very important, and I know it can be an uphill task, particularly because you have to constantly churn out a steady flow of student nurses to be able to supply demand, which is like a never-ending well, calling for people all of the time because of the delivery of care and what is needed. So one of the things that I heard that you told us about in that list, Nurse Hope, that has stuck with me is this spa day that is coming up for the nurses, and I think that's fantastic. So let's talk quickly again about, remind me of when that will be, so people at least know what to look out for the next day or two as we move on. So a spa day at the QEH, is it?
Yes, please. The spa day at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital is this morning, and it is open to all staff at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And we also have another spa day on a wellness day at the Psychiatric Hospital on Friday, the 12th of May. And as you said, Tisha, it is a very good venture. And as nurses, we know that it is important to look after our physical health as well as our mental and emotional and spiritual health. So the spa day, that's our time to come out and relax and be catered to, be pampered to, because after all, we look after people on a daily basis, and sometimes we tend to forget ourselves. So that is our day to relax.
Madam President, as we close, final word with you. What do you want us to move forward with from the Barbados Nurses Association as we continue during Nurses Week 2023?
Okay, so what we want to move forward with is that, remember that nurses play an important role in healthcare, and that we should invest in nurses. Nurses help to provide a sustainable healthcare, safe, affordable, accessible, and responsive healthcare approach. So we should really invest in nurses. I also want members and the non-members to remember to come out to the seminar that we are having on the 11th at Savannah. Remember that you have to register for the seminar, and in this seminar we are going to provide an eclectic view of what's happening in terms of the future of nursing, and we're also going to concentrate on issues that relate to gender, that relate to the students who are our future, that relate to regulation in nursing. So we're going to look at all the pertinent issues that affect nursing and our future in nursing.
That's a lot to look at in just a few days, but I'm sure you can handle it. So please share some of those wonderful photos of the nurses being pampered, and share the calendar of what's happening so we can remind nurses all across Barbados every day what the activities are. Thank you so much, Suzette Hope, Chairman of the Education Committee of Nurses Week, and Dr. Faye Paris, President of the Barbados Nurses Association. Thanks for your time this morning, and happy Nurses Week.
Thank you, Tisha, and thanks for having us.
Thank you. Always great to salute our nurses. Coming up next, Kim Butcher is in the house. She's talking about a new season of From Bohay. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning.
The Big Bajan Bake Off is back, and the top 5 have been selected. Tune in Fridays at 8:03 p.m. to find out who will be crowned the best Bajan baker.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day, and join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, 11 minutes now before 7 o'clock. 11 minutes to go if you have to get there for 7 o'clock and you're still at home. You're a straggler. My friend, you're late. So get on the road. And I can't offer any help by way of telling you the traffic is going to be an easy flow, because these days it's bad traffic all day long, even in the midday. All right, so we're often encouraging you to make sure you get out and buy Bajan. That's been a campaign that I've heard about from the time I was year high. I'm a little past that now. So we have Kim Butcher in with us this morning to talk a little bit more about her program. From Bohay is going to be back for another season, so we truly are looking forward to that. Good morning, Kimmy.
Good morning. What's going on?
I'm good. It's always great to see you.
I am so happy to be back for season 2 of From Bohay. We are excited to educate, to inform, empower Bajans to buy and support local. And this season, we have an interesting group of entrepreneurs. Everything from fashion to food and beverage. We have some new mavericks, some innovators who are doing some really interesting things in Barbados.
That's wonderful. Talk to me a little bit about how the show got started. I mean, it's one thing to talk about, buying local, but the way you present it is you are here, I know, with your wonderful waist snatching belts.
Yes.
And then, of course, you brought some other entrepreneurs on board.
Yes. Actually, From Bohay started as my CEO Saturdays, is what I would call them. I would go across the length and breadth of Barbados, looking at other micro entrepreneurs and seeing what they were doing and saying, hey, you know what? There's some real talent in Barbados, not just products and services. So I wanted to use my platform to raise awareness and encourage Barbadians to buy and support local. So it really started out as a Saturday morning activity that has now morphed into our season 2. And in that time, we would have met 72 entrepreneurs.
Wow.
72 brands. A lot of them would have pivoted from full-time employment, turning their passions into purpose and no profits.
All right. Generally, what has the response been like from the general public, from people who are interested in not only what you're offering, but these tens of people who've come along for the ride?
Bajans like to buy Bajan. That's what I can tell you. And the response has been absolutely phenomenal. Everywhere I go, somebody's telling me, wait, buy from Bohay. And they're looking for the micro entrepreneurs. They're looking to see who is doing what in Barbados. And the talent is across Barbados is absolutely amazing. People are turning hobbies into full-blown businesses. And their innovative takes on things like pepper sauce, Mobby cookies. There are all kinds of things that are happening in Barbados.
All right, I won't touch the Mobby cookies, intriguing. Won't touch that. But it definitely is wonderful to see that we're kind of returning to that place of entrepreneurship. Do you think, though, we're encouraging enough of that as you look across the length and breadth of the country? Do you think we're encouraging enough of that, even from the primary and secondary school level? I remember when I was in secondary school, we did junior achievement or something like that, and you were challenged back then. We used to make beads. I thought I made the best bead chains ever, if I might say that myself. But from then, entrepreneurship was really encouraged. So are we doing enough of it to ensure there's continuity as we move forward with another generation?
I think that we are. The $20 challenge is an excellent example of how we are looking at entrepreneurship for another generation. And our kids now are very agile. They understand doing the all to both is how you build generational wealth. So we have young people now who are looking at getting a full-time job, but also looking at how they can turn their hobbies into real cash, how they can monetize. And a lot of that is being done online. So I don't think that we have anything to fear as it relates to entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship in the future. What our program seeks to do is to shine a light on what is happening here and inspire and empower those persons who are maybe considering turning their passions into profits, how it can happen.
All right, there may be some interest extra-regionally through From Bohay as you embark on a new season, which is starting Friday, May 12th, which is in another few days.
Yes, it is.
So there may be some interest from down the region. Tell us more.
Absolutely. We recently actually visited Trinidad, and there is definite interest in what is happening in Barbados. Actually, globally, people are looking at Barbados and saying, hey, let's see what they're doing. So people are interested and looking at what we're doing. They're looking at our raw materials because they want to purchase our raw materials, and they want to collaborate with other entrepreneurs as well. So this is the season where we are looking to collaborate, we're looking to build trust, we're looking to buy and sell from each other. And not just in Barbados, but across the region. What we're looking to do is to expand From Bohay to make it really a regional thing. So when people think about buying from Bohay, It's really across the Caribbean that we want people to buy from.
All right, so once people sit and they see what's happening through the program Buy From Bohay, what's next for them? Are all of the entrepreneurs who are being showcased on the Buy From Bohay program then online as well, or do they reach out through you? How does it go?
It's really a part of a community. Once you're part of Buy From Bohay, we will support you post your appearance. So we do have a dedicated IG page, which is Buy From Bohay on Instagram, where persons can go and see what is happening, who would have been featured on the show, and how to connect with them in terms of their products and services. Additionally, as we have for our new season, we really want to enhance the community aspect of Buy From Bohay. So at the end of it, persons will be able to say, hey, I want to buy a package from episode 1 or episode 7. So you can your own curated package of a bit of Buy From Bohay.
I love that, to be able to order kind of a box set of,
Yes.
of a few items. That's always wonderful. It's almost like the goodies never end.
Exactly.
I love that, when you can dig into a box and find a few different things. So are you excited about the new season? You talked about the Mobby cookies, not going there, but there are a few other things. I mean, you know, I'm going to be open-minded, because when I heard about Mobby milk, I was like, no Mobby milk. But then I tasted it and it was good.
Look, last season I tried noni juice for the first time. I had sea moss. I mean, this season, the amount of interesting, innovative products and services, new takes on old things. So everybody has pepper sauce, but we have a different kind of pepper sauce coming. We're talking about sustainable products like cleaning agents, we got gourmet skincare. We are running the gamut of interesting Bajan-made products and services right here. So I'm very excited. And there's still space for other persons. If you're interested, you can still contact me to be on the show.
All right, so a great place to start is on the Instagram page. And I often tell everybody that while I'm talking, I like to do it at the same time. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to get on there and hop on your Instagram and go on ahead and follow right now. Because the thing about it is, sometimes we say, go follow, and then before you could say Jack Robinson, you were on to something else, so you forget. So I just typed in buy, and it automatically came up. Voila, follow, and there we are. So Bajan TV series dedicated to showcasing, discovering, and engaging local entrepreneurs. It is back for another season, and there's a whole set of reasons why you should make sure that you watch, get online, and be a part of the new season. What about you with your particular brand? How are you managing to keep your brand going in the midst of supporting so many others? Because sometimes we think if we spread ourselves too thin, we might, you know, lose what we're doing along the way too.
No. Okoye is a community. We are here to empower, engage women and girls. The line is going well. You know, we do transitional accessories and our OBK belts. And most recently, we started a collection to raise awareness for gender-based violence. And that actually took me to Trinidad, where I was able to walk and use my platform to raise awareness. All of these things are connected. If we want to really build generational wealth, we need to look at using all of our skills and talents and bring as many people to the table as possible, because we can't do it alone. So for me, building my brand is also building and supporting other Barbadian brands, because it's all about building community. Each one help one, because we're moving together.
All right, and I know I saw the president recently rocking one of your belts. That must have been a high point for you.
Isn't she fantastic?
Absolutely.
What? I love that she understands her shape, her body, and she can rock an Okoye belt. And there's so many other inspiring women who are doing the exact same thing. They're shopping the shape, because our brand is about sustainable fashion. We want you to go and open the wardrobe, see what you have, and add an accessory to elevate your look effortlessly.
All right, it definitely is working. So tell us about this new season, when we can tune in, how we can be a part of it. We're extremely excited for the new season of Buy From Bohay.
I am so excited. If you want to be a part of Buy From Bohay, you can reach out to me directly. You can call me at 266-0779 or send us an email at buyfrombohay@gmail.com. Or follow me on Instagram. Send me a message there, also at Buy From Bohay. It is 13 episodes, everything from plants, agriculture, food and beverage, services, all are Bajan made right here in Barbados by Bajans. And Bajans love to see Bajans on TV. let's celebrate who we are authentically. We can wear we waist and we can buy from Bohay.
Absolutely love it. For you though, what are you looking forward to most this season? I know you talked about the novelties, new things coming up, maybe some new people coming along with you. But as the person kind of behind the entire thing, there must be a lot of anticipation on your end.
I am excited to see how some of our brands would have grown because we're coming back. Some of our old brands from season 1 are coming back into season 2. And they have done absolutely amazing things. People like Aunt Phyllis, barbecue sauce. People are really embracing entrepreneurship and embracing the things that they're doing. So I'm excited to see the growth of some of our entrepreneurs. And I'm excited to see new fans and new kids who are interested in the show. It really is heartwarming to see the outpouring of support for buying and supporting local. And I'm looking forward to going to the supermarket and seeing Bajan things in Bajan carts.
All right, Kim Butcher, always good to see you. Buy From Bohay is back. It's starting again on Friday, May 12th, so make sure you tune in for that. And I'm looking forward to my Buy From Bohay box.
Yes.
My Buy From Bohay big box.
Yes.
So, get all those products in there and get them out. And we most certainly will be looking forward to that. Kemi, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tisha, and thank you so much, CBC, for an amazing opportunity. I can't wait to be back on Buy From Bohay.
Always fun with Kimmy. Hey, it's about 7 o'clock in Barbados and across the Eastern Caribbean. It's time now for an update of the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Time now for an update on your news. We start with some sad news. Police and fire officials are still on the scene of an apparent fire where the remains of a woman and child have been found. Fire officials received the report about 4:35 a.m. and two tenders, one from the Worthing station and the other from the Bridgetown station, responded to the scene at Headings in St. Philip, along with 8 officers under the command of Divisional Officer Perch. It was when fire officials made a check of the dwelling after extinguishing the blaze that the discovery of the human remains was made. One neighboring 2-story structure was damaged in the fire along with a vehicle. CBC News will continue to bring updates on that breaking story as they come to hand. Meanwhile, hundreds of delegates start arriving from today for this week's Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association's Marketplace and Trade Show here in Barbados. Barbados will be taking the opportunity to showcase what we have to offer to international tourism journalists. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Ryan Ford, was speaking of the grand opportunity last evening on TV8's The People's Business.
We have 800 delegates arriving for this event, and you have at least 45 of them are international media. So they will be showcasing the best of Barbados. What's the best? The people. You know, second best is what we offer in terms of our heritage, our culture, our food, etc. So all of those experiences, these delegates are going to see, and they're going to post, they're going to do blogs about, they're going to speak very well about Barbados. On top of that, They're also going to have a business travel forum that the main speaker is obviously the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister has been championing about the same thing the last caller said. You know, how do we add more to our product? How do we diversify and upgrade? And she is going to lead the speech, and then there's 13 other individuals that will be talking as well. So there's a lot of business transactions going across the 2 days of the actual trade show. And as we were speaking earlier about manufacturing, there's also a marketplace which gives an opportunity for 800 plus individuals to see the offering. Today, when it was presented to us on the walkthrough, they actually have 2 stations there that are set up for the 26 different providers to showcase the soaps, the shampoos, all of these products that originally you would get in small bottles. They're now going on an eco way in the hotels of supplying it in large capacities, so that you reduce the wastage and you're also able to work better with local suppliers. But it gives those local suppliers the opportunity to now sell overseas as well and earn foreign exchange. So there is a lot of opportunity to promote what we do well here in Barbados to get the repeat tourists, but we're also showcasing our linkages of what our people can offer, apart from the events that we're also putting on as well.
And the chairman of the Tourism Development Council, Mark Thompson, says there are also plans to make sure Bridgetown doesn't sleep, creating more opportunities for tourists to enjoy what Barbados has to offer. He says Bridgetown has to become more than just duty-free shopping.
There is a planned project around the Pierhead, Carlisle Bay area. I think that's a much needed project, I should say, which would have, mixed use environment, retail, commercial, living, apartments, that sort of thing. There's the Hyatt Hotel planned. And with that, you've got to plan a number of things that would help. When people come there, they want to be able to go to, museums, art shows, movies, etc. Because right now, Bridgetown, we know it, is really living by virtue of the fact it's duty-free, and that's the focus. But we really need to have projects like that and that type of development happening in order to really wake Bridgetown up. To get it back to how it was when boats coming across the Atlantic used to make that the first stop,
And as we look toward the crop over season, revelers are being cautioned to protect themselves and their skin. There are several medical and skin conditions which can result from exposure to the sun and to various chemicals in the paint and powder. Topping the list is the risk of skin cancer. A leading local dermatologist explained to the Morning Report that it's not confined to any specific race, because with temperatures as intense as they are, the ultraviolet exposure is higher.
Its risk is skin cancer, which we normally associate with the lighter pigmented patient, the Caucasians. But black people can also get skin cancer, so that is something that we have to be aware of. And skin cancers can develop either in a chronic stage or an acute stage, i.e. you get a terrific sunburn and therefore you're at risk of a skin cancer maybe years down the road. Apart from that, excessive sun exposure can also lead to premature aging of the skin. So people wind up with wrinkles and stretched skin because they're not taking care of themselves properly.
Now, while there are no local studies to show the precise numbers of UV exposure damage or other reactions to allergens, the dermatologist has assured the Morning Report that offices are full after the festival because many are not aware of their sensitivity to various chemicals.
It may not only be sun related. There are, of course, all the different fets with different paints and glitter and what have you. And some people are sensitive to these things, which they may not realize until after the fact. We've had some patients come in with allergic contact dermatitis to the skin after being exposed to whatever else may be thrown at them during the Fed. And in some cases, of course, people can develop allergies at a later stage in life. They may have had a little sensitivity of skin because there's a genetic predisposition in people who have asthma and hay fever and eczema in general. But some people are not aware that they can be reacting to something like the paint or latex until after the fact has occurred.
The doctor warns in some instances a small amount of substance could even cause death.
In the extreme situation, one can develop anaphylactic shock with difficulty breathing, a swelling of the tongue, a swelling of the airway passages, and therefore at significant risk of dying. And one of the dangerous things about this, it may not have to be a lot of the chemical. It may only be a small portion. That person who is very sensitive, for example, somebody may be sensitive to, let's say, peanuts, and just being in a room where peanuts are being distributed or available for other people, they might have a reaction to it. So you do not necessarily have to have a lot of the substance on you for you to have a reaction.
Now, a day after lawmen issued a warning regarding anyone caught harboring two missing teenage girls, the youngsters have been located and are in police custody. Renika Husbands and Tanique Jemmett were reported missing since April. The two 14-year-old girls have been the topic of much concern and social media discussion. Acting Police Public Relations Officer Inspector Stephen Griffith confirmed that the youngsters are in custody and their parents have been informed. He said the two were picked up yesterday.
The Barbados Police Service wished to inform members of the public that missing juveniles Renika Husbands and Tanique Jemmett are now in police custody. The Barbados Police Service wish to thank members of the public and the press for their kind cooperation and assistance in this matter.
Well, that's it for a news update. Back to Morning Barbados after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should...
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, it's 13 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday morning. I hope you're not one of these people who has Monday morning blues. But if you do, we have a lot of wonderful things for you to get you in a fantastic mood. Like coming up later, Scramble It. That's right. So Scramble It is coming up a little bit later, where we give you an opportunity to unscramble a few things and get those creative juices flowing, you know, get the mind working, especially for my little ones who are heading out to school. So whether you're going out to primary or secondary or tertiary, good morning to you, particularly to teachers as well. And we told you earlier it's Nurses Week, so make sure you salute all the nurses in your life. I'm sure you've passed through some nurses at some point in time or the other. All right, time for us to say good morning and welcome now to Desmond Weeks, who is the organizer of Mom, This One Is For You, and it is back. It's back big time, and he's brought along the reigning Calypso monarch, Quan. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
How you doing, beautiful?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's so good to see both of you.
Yes.
All right, Quan,
Calypso
unfortunately.
King and the Spooge King.
I like that, Calypso King and Spooge King. All right, so Quan, I wasn't here last time to see you win, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, I have to make sure I see you defending that title live this time around. All right, so Desmond, you're back with Mom, This One Is For You. I remember I was there from day one. I was there for the very first one. I believe in the early 2000s. So it has grown and grown since then. Tell me about what initially came to you, why you initially decided to make the program.
Okay, good morning to all the viewers. Why I brought this program is because mothers play a pivotal role in our lives. You know, in Barbados, mothers have been there for us from the inception. They have been nurturing us. They have been sending us to school. When we come home, we getting 3 square meals a day. You know, as poor as we are, you know what I mean, we used to eat every day. Now I grew up, I wonder how my mother used to do it.
I agree.
You know, how she used to do it, you know, and she used to walk from Carrington Village up to Upton to work, you know, and she really worked hard for us. And I said, mothers in Barbados must be honored, you know, for the beautiful work that they're doing. And that is how basically I got into it. And then I developed it, and then I said, like, we can honor a mother from each parish, you know.
I remember that.
Right, one from each parish. And I called a limousine company, and he said, okay, yes, we are going to supply the limousine for them and bring, so things just start happening. And then the people, you know, this has grown out to be the signature event now for Mother's Day. And this is how we develop and develop. And we honor the mother who was 101, I think, Miss Nita Harper. She was the oldest mother in Barbados at the time.
Wow.
And she attended that show for about 5 or 6 years after that 101 birthday. And what I admire in her is that she sat down there, watched the entire show, she clapped and everything, and she even never went to the bathroom. The strength that this old lady had.
Wow,
you know?
101, that's a lot of years.
A lot of years.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You said she went up to 5 or 6 years after that,
yes.
So, you know, that's fantastic. It's wonderful the work you're doing to salute our mother, so thanks to you. The show is coming up again on May 14th. Quan, you're going to be a part of it.
Of course,
and this must feel really great for you to be able to honor your mom and other moms in your life, and indeed moms across Barbados in this way.
Certainly, when Desmond called me to perform at the show, I felt honored, honestly. Heard about the show for many years, never been, but you know, it is very significant, and it is a great thing, you know, to honor our mothers, and it's a pleasure to be on this show, and I definitely look forward to it.
Well, I think you're definitely the youngest person in the mix
yes.
this morning.
Yes.
You know, so what are your thoughts on how we've honored mothers over the years, particularly the last few years where we've not been able to get out? I know some people have not been able to visit their parents, whether it's because they live in different homes and then there were restrictions and so on. So what are your thoughts on how we honor our moms and how we can amplify that with shows like this?
Well, this show certainly is a start. You alluded to the COVID period, and that was certainly a difficult period. For example, my mom, she's a home helper, and she, you know, during the COVID period, obviously had to go out and you know, helping the elderly, and we're stuck at home, but she's going out and obviously, you know, facing the pressures of the COVID situation. You never know. So that obviously takes great strength, and definitely salute all the mothers and all the frontline workers who would have helped us during that time. So I definitely think that we're doing an excellent job in terms of saluting our mothers, for example, through this show. So looking forward to how we can work better to help our mothers.
For sure. Kwan is on the cards, but I know you usually have a full slate of entertainment, Desmond.
Oh, yes. We have the cream of entertainment in Barbados. We have Kwan, the king. We have the king of Calypso in Barbados right now. Then we have John King, another king. John Yard, Dance National Afrique, Desmond Weeks. We have the Haynesville Youth Group. They will be performing too. And Eric Lewis, and Eric Lewis will break down the place too, and Matt Fingal. And there's a lady by the name of Tricia O'Neill. She's from the differently able community, because what we like to do is we like to bring the differently able, the youth, the elderly, and we like to bring all of them under one roof, because this is a family event. People bring out all their family. Listen, ladies bring out their aunties, their mothers, even their fathers, and all they bring out every year. So we put together this show in order to bring everybody together at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Center on the 14th Mother's Day. Don't forget the 14th Mother's Day.
I think you started there. I remember when I went that first year, it was at the LESC. It was beautifully put together. It's wonderful, always great to share with mothers. And the room is always charged because there's so many people just in a celebratory mood, and that's always important. Now, outside of that, all the kings who are going to be there, I know that you're also looking to celebrate mothers in culture this time around.
Yeah. Listen, we have a culture in Barbados, right? But it was built from somewhere, And these mothers that we are going to honor, they played a pivotal role in building the culture in Barbados, And when you look at Lottie from Beijing, Pearlie from Beijing bus stop, when I was growing up, Pearlie was in our front house, as we just call it. We're talking culture. She was in our front house every week, and we were laughing. She was making us happy, Lottie. Let me get the names right for you, because I don't want to miss nobody. Right, Pearlie from which is Norma Walcott.
Yes.
And then we have Cheryl Grzett. She's the Limbo Queen of Barbados culture again. Jennifer Seeley, Dance in Africa. We have Angela Withers. Angela Withers, Lottie. Okay? And then we have Shelley Small. Shelley Small is she's doing a wonderful job there in the Pine with the children in the Pine, Shelley Small. Dawn Lisa Calendar Smith. We also have Marsha Greenwich, Sophia Graves of the Pinelands Creative Workshop. We also have Eleanor Rice, who is with the Calypso Tanks, Janelle Headley, OTT, Kenisa Grazette, and we have also your own Peter Allen will be there too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Definitely a good start.
A good start.
To celebrating women in culture. Some names that definitely bring back some memories and remind us of how talented Barbadians are and what the contribution has been over the years to culture.
They built the culture.
All right. Kwan, what are you looking forward to most? Probably just showing everybody what you have to offer. Maybe a new song. You're debuting something new, or are you going to give us what you took the title with last time?
Well, certainly looking forward to the performance, as Desmond just told me, just perform, bring down the house, right? But I'm definitely doing the Calypso from last time, and I'm also premiering one of my new soca tracks for this season, actually releasing this Friday, Rock With Me. Looking forward to that. It's going to be an excellent performance.
All right, so the Soca King, the Spooge King, John King.
All the kings.
What more can you ask for? So that's this one is for you. Again, it's back May 14th, and it's going to be at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Center. Where can we get our tickets? I would imagine online, ticket links and...
No, well, tickets are on sale at CS Pharmacy.
Okay, CS Pharmacy.
Wakes Plus, that's Sky Mall. We also have sports and games down there opposite the Independence Square. Okay, and Eddie's Trading down Spice Town. So you have different locations that you can go.
Go in and pick up your tickets.
Yes.
A special good morning to the Edwards as well. I was in Eddie's early yesterday morning.
yeah, my buddy. Hi, buddy. You know, and also Free Spirit in Southern Plaza.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Desmond. Thank you for honoring moms for so long.
Oh, yes.
And thank you, Kwan, for coming along. We
course.
definitely look forward to the old tune, but we look forward to what's new.
No, that's right.
Because you know the pressure is on. You better bring it.
Something is coming, certainly.
All right. On that note, good morning to you, Kofi, as well. Thanks for coming through, gentlemen. May 14th, LESC. You heard all the places you can get your tickets. Mom, this one is for you. Mother's Day is coming up, and you must be a part of the celebrations. Stay with us. Coming up next, we're talking love.
Mom, this one's for you. 23, the Mother's Day Show at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14, 2023 at 6 p.m. Doors will open at 4 p.m. Early mom tickets, $45. General admission, $50. Reserve seating, $65. Featuring Sean Yard, Dance National Afrique, Eric Lewis, John King, Desmond Weeks, Calypso Monarch for 2022, Kwan, and Mac Fingal. Mom, this one's for you. Box office, CS Pharmacy, Lower Broad Street, and Eddie's Trading. Mom, this one's for you. 23.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, welcome back to Morning Barbados. It's a fantastic Monday. So not too much rain in sight, but they said there will be a few showers and into the evening you can expect some cloudy conditions maybe, but it's going to be nice and sunny all day long. So be careful as you move along and just, move away from those cell phones. I recognize that we're seeing more and more people kind of back on their phones again. So you want to be wary of that. And if we're absolutely honest, I thought that I could really balance what was going on with my phone as I drove. But now that we've moved away from that, it has really changed my perspective on things. All right, time now to talk love. So we have to go to Dr. Denise Charles, who's an educator, academic, and author, and life and relationship coach. Let's say good morning. Wonderful to have you with us as always.
Good morning, Tisha. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday. All right. So every relationship, whether we're talking about romantic relationships or otherwise, we often have, some pain or at the bare minimum disappointment. So we want to look at bouncing back from the pain and disappointment of relationships, starting with friendships. I think often we go directly to romantic relationships, but we don't realize that when we form these deep friendships with people and then we fall apart, it can be very tough to deal with.
Thank you, Tisha. Actually, we have a relationship style, I think, that spans types of relationships. So whether we're talking about a familial relationship with our siblings or our parents, or we're talking about the relationship with friends, or then an intimate partnership, a partner relationship, we have a particular way of navigating relationships. We have a particular comfort level with perhaps expressing love or even wanting to feel love. And I think we take that into all of our relationships. So you're right when you say the issue of relationship disappointment can span a gamut of relationship types. And when we're looking at friendships, if we're the type of individual who values close friends, having close friends, or we value connecting with people, then when that relationship or that friendship, it meets its demise, it ends for whatever reason, then we can feel devastated. We can feel as if we've been betrayed. We can feel let down significantly. And it is all about how we value relationships, what is important to us in terms of connecting to people, and our sense of loss. Because you invest a lot of yourself in a relationship. If it's a best friend type of thing, or it's just a very close friend, it's a colleague from work, someone that you have been close to for a while, you invest a lot in that, a lot of energy, a lot of your emotional energy as well. And you have certain expectations with respect to relationships. We all do. So when those expectations are not met, the relationship is broken or fractured because of some disagreement or misunderstanding, we can feel significantly let down and disappointed, yes, regardless of the type of relationship.
It's bouncing back from romantic relationships as opposed to platonic friendships or just friendships generally, or even familial relationships. Would you say that bouncing back from disappointment and pain to do with these relationships differs?
It differs, and it differs based on our level of investment and how we define ourselves by that relationship. For example, all of us have come from parents, and some people may not have been raised by their parents, but the persons that raised you, your home circle, these people are pivotal to your development, and we often define ourselves through the lens of those who were most significant in our upbringing years. So whether it be a grandmother, whether it be an uncle and aunt, whether it be our actual mother and father, or one of them, these people are the ones who we interface with and interacted with from childhood, and therefore we see we pitch our value very much along the lines of what these people communicated to us about that value, how they made us feel. So when we lose touch with those types of individuals, it tends to create a significant pain, a significant sense of loss. We grieve this connection from our the people who were significant to us in our growing up years. Similarly, a romantic relationship is a relationship through which we often define ourselves, because there is something in the human psyche, the human soul, that longs for that type of connection, that type of romantic connection, that type of connection where we are exclusively loved by someone else. We long for that. There's something inside of us that longs or yearns for that type of connection. So when there's a disconnection in that type of relationship, we can feel similarly to our parental relationship. We can lose our sense of who we are, our sense of identity. We can begin to feel as if we're not worth anything. And then we may want to ask ourselves, is this healthy? Is it right to define ourselves solely through the lens of what someone else does or how someone else feels about us? Because while I'm saying that these responses to relationships and to relationship fracturing, that these are the things that exist, we can ask ourselves, is this really right? Is this something that we should do? How can we counter this? How can we see ourselves as valuable and as worthwhile individuals, even if the people we love don't? Or they have somehow disconnected us or disconnected from us? And that is the question, Tisha.
I know when we hear these types of discussions, we often talk about managing expectations. So
Yes.
For me, I'm always confused about saying managing expectations, because it always feels like if you are completely guided by what happened in a relationship that went sour, or a relationship that you had a lot of pain and disappointment, and you don't give the next relationship, the next friend you meet, a good chance to prove themselves, then are you truly being a good friend? Because is it that you're bringing baggage along, or can we say that you've learned from mistakes and you are truly managing what you expect so that you don't get that level of disappointment again?
That's a very tricky question, Tisha. Understanding what our expectations are where love and relationships are concerned is very, very critical. We have to know what we're looking for. We have to know what we expect so we can manage those expectations. And as I said earlier, each of us has this desire to feel love. We want to feel significant. We want to feel as if we are valued to that person, whether that person be a parent or whether that person be someone that we're in a romantic relationship with. We want to feel that there's something special about us. And that is good and that is okay. But then we have to have, as I was saying last night during a live that I did on Facebook, we have to have a good relationship with ourselves. We have to be able to value ourselves. We have to know who we are outside the context of a relationship with anyone. I know that's extremely difficult to do, especially since as human beings, we connect with people, we connect with our mothers from in the womb. You know, we come out of the womb and immediately we are being cared for by someone else. And we can say that that human beings were created for a relationship. We were created not to be alone. We were created to be with people, to connect with people. That's how God is. God is a God of relationship. But then how do we still see ourselves as valuable and as unique apart from the perspectives and the perceptions and the treatment of other people? And that can only come about when we really spend some time looking inward and understanding that we are valuable, being self-compassionate, not being too hard on ourselves, you know, understanding that despite our mistakes, despite the challenges that we have in life, despite the broken friendships, we have individual value that is unique to who we are. It is unique to our purpose, to our design by God, to the fact that we've been created for a particular reason. We have a task to accomplish in life, or we have tasks to accomplish in life. Then we begin to connect with our purpose and understand who we are as individuals. Then we can love ourselves. We can value ourselves, not to the point where we become narcissistic or we think that we've made it and we've arrived and we don't have to change. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about understanding that we are still growing, that we are still developing. We need to change. We need to expand our borders. You know, we need to become more all the time. It is something that never stops, you know. And when we understand that about ourselves, we can appreciate ourselves and embrace who we really are, flaws and all, then I think that positions us in a place where when we interface with other people and interact with other people, even though they may let us down, even they may disappoint us, we don't lose hope, we don't lose faith in who we are because we understand who we are. And that's a very, very tenuous place to be. It's a very difficult space to come to, but it is something that we need to, if we're going to be healthy in our relationships going forward, because as you said, it is so likely that we will bring the baggage from our past relationships. And that often happens when we haven't dealt with the pain. When we haven't unpacked the pain, we haven't unraveled the pain, whether to ourselves or to someone else. We're not sure exactly how we've been hurt and how we perhaps contributed to it sometimes, because sometimes we expose ourselves to toxicity because of things we allow in our space. We don't create the right boundaries with the people that we are in relationships with. And as a result, we suffer. You know, so sometimes we are in pain because of things that we have allowed. And when you get to that place of loving yourself and understanding your worth and your value, you're going to be able to set those boundaries in place. There are things you're not going to put up with. You know, love suffers long and is kind. That's what the Bible says. But that does not mean we have to allow people to abuse us, you know, and use us. So we have to know where to say no, where to draw those boundaries so that we can preserve our sense of self and of value.
Yeah, and I know, you know, in hearing you talking about kind of embracing our flaws and knowing where our shortcomings are, a lot of the times we don't acknowledge that we have a part to play sometimes in disappointment, because a lot of us don't verbalize our expectations. We expect that people will know what they need to do, and we expect that people will reciprocate just because. So a lot of us expect that our response will be the mold by which people will respond to every situation. And sometimes people are disappointed because they don't verbalize to others what it is that they want them to do or what they expect in these relationships. And so I think that can be really setting yourself up for failure in any relationship.
And you know, Tisha, sometimes we're disappointed too because we put ourselves in a space where we think that we can save people, we can change people. You know, that man has this problem, that problem, but I know that I love him so much I can make him change. when really and truly we can't make anyone change. You know, we can talk about the things that we want to see changed. We should communicate how we feel about that person, about the relationship, and the things that we're unhappy about, of course, but we cannot change anyone. And when we understand where our power really lies, that our power really lies with changing ourselves and not with changing someone else, then that's a big part of managing our expectations, because we're going to understand that no matter how much we love someone, we can't change them, we can't turn them into the person that we would really want them to be. We have to allow people to be themselves. And in the same way that we are compassionate to ourselves, then that will help us to also extend grace and to be compassionate to other people with their flaws as well. So forgiveness is a big part of it.
It's always so good to talk to you, and just always leaving us with a lot of food for thought. My final word on this topic will be compromise. There are so many people who are not willing to compromise, even when, you know, there are challenges with disappointments and stuff like that. And final word from you as we go. Final word.
Okay, my final word is to love yourself, value yourself, understand where your limitations are, put yourself out there, don't go away from love, but understand that you don't have about other people, you can only control you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. Always great to speak with you. Lots to think about as we go through our week. Every one of us has had a disappointment
Thank you, Tisha.
in a
Have a great
relationship.
day.
All right, and a wonderful week ahead. Hey, we're celebrating Nurses Week, so a big salute to all nurses out there, retired nurses as well. I know that you guys had to kind of jump back into action in the last few years while we had COVID on the horizon. So thank you, and we salute you. Nurses from across the gamut. So whether you're at the geriatric hospital or you're at the mental hospital, you're at the QEH, you're in private practice, thank you so much for everything that you do. When we come back, we're reaching afar and celebrating a Barbadian who is doing phenomenal things in the field of football.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Matchback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
The Big Bajan Bake Off is back, and the top 5 have been selected. Tune in Fridays at 8:03 p.m. to find out who will be crowned the best Bajan baker. Barbadians are flying the Bajan flag all over the world and wherever they go. Let's reflect on the work and foot moves of a past Barbadian football player who went on to become certified as a UEFA football coach, and now he is plying his trade in Germany. Let's say good morning and welcome to Eric Levine. It's good to have you with us. Hey, Eric.
Good morning, Tisha. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. And first of all, congratulations on all of your accomplishments.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. It was hard work, but you know, at the end of the day, hard work pays off. No matter what you're doing in life, as long as you're dedicated to it, it will pay off. So my dedication totally paid off, and I think at the right time in the right way.
All right, so let's talk about your early days playing for Barbados. Did you anticipate that football would take you to the places that it has, literally and figuratively?
Not really, because I used to play a lot of cricket before. Then I got the chance to represent Barbados when I was in primary school, because I never went into secondary school. I went to primary school, Spikestone Boys School, and I got picked up from there where Peter Cattle saw me as one of the talented players. Got on to Keith Griffith and stuff like that, saw me and picked me up. And eventually I was in the national team under Keith Griffith and all those boys and stuff like that. And then I started playing football naturally. I wasn't so good at first. I started out just kicking the ball hard and stuff like that. But then Peter eventually got me to train every Saturday morning, running from hometown Blackbess, St. Peter, to Spikestown and back. And eventually, like I said, I got into the under 19s, under 18s, under 23, and senior national team. And I was playing there until, I got the chance to go into the BDF sports program, which I was in there for 3.5 years. Represented Barbados BDF and Barbados national team. From there on, finished that 3 years after 3.5 years. Then went into carpentry, where I learned my trade as a carpenter. I gave it up to, I needed a trade, so I went to carpentry and represented Gordon the same time. So it took me from, like I said, from primary school to the BDF to the national team to Gordon, and then eventually over to Ireland, where I spent more than 2 decades in Ireland as a professional footballer, working also for the FAI Ireland. I maintained, or I got my training certificates. I think Youth Cert was the first one that I got, and the second one, when I was retiring from football by Athlone Town, I did my B license there. And then last year actually, I did my A license in Ireland again. Went back to Ireland, where I did my A license. I got it, passed it. It was a lot of work. I thought I was a coach until I really got into this course. Sitting down from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 at night, listening to a professor of psychology and mental health, outside of football, on the pitch, off the pitch, how and when you can recognize stuff, how you can affect the players and stuff like that. So like I said, that's part of it. That's basically a nut in case, then, you say.
All right, Eric, I certainly hope I didn't miss it, but how were you able to break into playing football on an international level? Like you mentioned, first of all, in Ireland, and then, you know, you said for 2 decades. I didn't realize it was for 2 decades. I know it was over a decade, but I didn't realize it was for such a long time. Congratulations. So how were you able to kind of break into playing internationally?
Well, to be honest, I myself don't really know. Like from Barbados to the UEFA Cup, that's something totally different. I broke into the national team, I think I was 17 or 18 years old. I got into the national team, I played under lots of coaches and different stuff like that. But coming to Ireland was a totally different picture, because I played on the current national team coach of Ireland, Stephen Kenny. He's now the coach of Ireland. I played my first UEFA game with him as trainer. And this at this stage we won. We qualified for the UEFA Cup. We won the League Cup and also the big knockout cup, let's call it, the biggest one in Ireland. We won both of them that year, double, and the year after we won that again, the big one, and then we lost the finals in one. So eventually, or you can say that I have 3 gold medals, 1 silver medal in that knockout cups, and then in the league to get promoted, I got also 2 silver medals, because I became second in the league. Both different kept us out there, but I played also 6 times in UEFA Cup, in the UEFA Cup at that time, against very good teams, winning numerous trophies and honors in the UEFA Cup, their man of the match and stuff like that. And to be honest, to say my career as a footballer, it took me a while not to settle in, but to realize what I have done or what I have achieved as a footballer coming from Barbados, where everybody was saying, you're not going to make it, why are you making so much, why are you giving him a chance, why are you spending so much money on him, he's not going to do anything, he's going to come back home. But I made up my mind. I got some good help from Seeley, Terry Seeley, Kevin Millard, the man that brought me to Ireland. And they told me, listen, there's nothing here for you in Barbados. You go down there and make sure that you know, everything's going to be different. You have to settle in and be strong. It's going to be cold. But that doesn't bother me. I know where you come from. I know what I have to do. So I made up my mind. I'm not going to come back to Barbados. I'm going to make something of myself, where a lot of people had doubts in me, but I had no doubt in myself. Sometimes I had doubted myself, but then I got the push that I needed from the players that were around me in Ireland, and they helped me along the way. But at the end of the day, my hard work and dedication paid off, and for that I'm very proud to achieve what I have achieved so far.
Well, you're now a certified UEFA coach. We know that, you know, when you're an athlete, things happen a little differently. You retire from your love, your sport, a whole lot easier, a whole lot earlier than regular people would retire from their jobs. Is the satisfaction level the same in coaching as it was for you as being on the field?
It's totally the same, but with more passion, because I want to bring what I have learned to the players, my players. The players I'm coaching, they're on the 19s. I'm coaching at a club called Falze Quartier here in North Rhine-Westphalia. This is the west of Germany. And we are playing 2 leagues under the 19th Bundesliga. And that is very high league. When I first got there, we were playing a league or 2 leagues lower as it is yet at the moment. But now, since I took over, I think about 6 years ago or something like that. My first year as coach, we got promoted to this league, and since then we were playing up to the top. We were a bit, we missed out on getting promoted last year, which was a hard thing for me and the team, because we were good enough to get there and we missed out. But hopefully this year we can get there. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be hard, because you got players and you got other trainers, and you know, sometimes you have better players than what reaches in your own club. So you gotta expect to lose sometimes. But the games that we're losing, it's not that we are playing badly or nothing. It's just that they don't concentrate enough. And like I said again, it goes back to mentality and mindset. If you come in your mind right or the wrong mindset and the wrong mentality, you would lose. So if you come in the right mindset and mentality, you win more than you lose games. So yeah, that's about it, kind of.
Now, I know as you move from country to country or city to city, the experiences would have been different. Ireland's experience most certainly wouldn't be Germany's experience, just like it wouldn't have been like running from Black Bass to Spitestung and back. So what are some of the things that you miss most about home?
Home. What can I say? I'm not going to lie to you. I don't miss home. I'm going to sit down right in front of you, Tisha, and tell like it is. I don't miss home. I miss the people. I miss my mother, my sisters and brothers, but I don't miss home. I made up my mind a long time ago, like I said, I'm here to do a job, and when I miss home, I want to go home. So my main objective is here to stay and to make sure that I get qualified the highest level of coaching abilities that I can, and see where it takes me. Because if I want to go home, it's not the coaching or the football is not going to be the same like here. It's totally different. And like I said again, it goes back to mentality and mindset. It's totally different. Everybody everybody knows better as the coaches, or so that's something that is worrying for me if I was to go back home or thinking about going home. I don't miss home.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you don't miss home, but I think you do. That's just my take on it.
No, not in that way. I don't miss home as,
I heard you. I understand. I understand what you mean. I totally understand what you mean. I'm just frightening you. All right. So before you go, the guys in the back, I know that they asked you which team you support, and you said Man U. So on that note, I have to shout out to my friend David, but some other fellas, they're not happy with you and this support for Man U at all.
Don't worry, that is good. But look, anything, teacher. One more thing before you go. I speak fluent English, German, Irish, and I'm learning a bit of Polish and also French in the next while. I went to college for 2.5 years here to learn the language, because I'm coaching in Germany, so you need to be able to speak the language. And to do that, as a black person coming from here, not going to secondary school, and coming here and getting to college for 2.5 years, 5 certificates in German and fluent Irish, it says a lot for coming from Black Base, a black boy from Black Base, runs the spikes down and ended up all the way here with a UFA license, one of the highest coaching certificates you can achieve in the world, or you can coach under any pro licensed coach in the world as assistant. I think there's only one person in the Caribbean that have that coaching badge, and I think he had a certificate, and he's out of Grenada, I think it is. But again, coming back to you, I'm going to say my last word. There is no words, no congratulations, no other contact getting me from the Barbados Association when they needed a bit of help. Not that I want the job or I want a job, no. But I think a lot of respect goes a long way when you can contact somebody that has achieved so much from Barbados but never been mentioned in that case of achieving anything like that. I think, you could say that is a sour taste in your mouth when you see stuff like that. Like you can represent Barbados, and you're one of the highest qualified coaches from the region, and still they don't recognize you for what you have done or what you have achieved as a player or as a coach. You still not getting any recognition or word from them out of their work. But
well, Eric, we're saluting you this morning, and we're recognizing you, and we want to thank you for sharing. Congratulations on all that you've been able to do, and you most certainly are flying the Barbadian flag. So have a good one, and thanks for sharing. Be sure to come on back. All right.
You too, Tisha. Have a good day.
Thank you, Eric Levine, former national player and UEFA coach. Hey, we'll be back to wrap things up after this. Stay with us.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.lv, and together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Thanks for spending the time with us on this fantastic Monday. We'll be back with you tomorrow, God willing, for another fantastic presentation. Thanks to you for tuning in. Make sure you come on back tomorrow as you move through your day and get ready for the week ahead. Remember to wear your smiles. On behalf of the entire crew, have a great day and a wonderful week. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Good morning.